Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Carrie's Gardening Channel. So today is March 25th, 2019, and I wanted to show you some of my begonia, the bulbs that I planted. They're starting to come up for me, and some of them started coming up maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it can take them a little bit for the sprouts to push through the soil, depending on how far you put the bulbs or the tubers down into your container, or how warm it is wherever you're growing them at, or how much light they're getting. So this is one that's just coming up. This one's going to go under the light. You can see the ground on this one here is starting to split a little bit. That one's coming up. This one here is pushing through, the sprouts pushing through the soil. And over here, now this was smooth when I planted it. And what actually happened was the sprout is coming up from the begonia tuber and it's breaking through the soil. So this is one way you can tell, and there's a little teeny sprout right there. I can see it coming. So this is one way you can tell when your begonia tubers are starting to sprout. Here's another one over here. Now what I'm actually going to do with these is when I see them coming up, I'm going to move them to my lights. So I will show you that here real quick. Hold on a moment. Okay, so these right here are under my lights. You can see how close I have the light actually to these. Now, the reason why I have the light this close is because I want these to grow nice and short for me and sturdy. I don't want them growing tall and spindly. Over here is another one. Let me pull this one here out to show you. Hold on a moment. Go. This one here is another one. Now this is a yellow pendula begonia, and they do have sort of a trailing habit, and they have really pretty yellow flowers. They're kind of different than some of your other begonias. They look a little different. So you can check that one out online. I'll see if I can find a link for that one and put it down in the description for you. Now, one thing you don't want to do, this one here touched the light a little bit, so it burnt the foliage some. Now, begonias, their foliage is very sensitive, so you don't want them touching the light. That's why that burnt that. So I'll show you some other ones here. Hold on a moment. And this one here actually does need water, so I'm going to be watering this one here. You want to keep your begonias moist, but not soggy. Now, some of like the Bossa Novas and the Santa Cruz, Sunset, San Francisco, and the Santa Barbaras, they can take their soil drier than some of your other begonias. So this one here, you can see it's growing here. Here's some other ones here. Now, I do want to show you another way that I do put these under my lights, so hold on a moment here. Now, another way that I do these is I actually run them down the center in between my lights. This light here has another light beside it, and there's kind of like a space in between. And I put them in between there, and they seem to grow very well that way too. Now, my lights are on for 14 hours a day. And I will have a link down in the description for the light that I use. And I do have a fan that runs down here. It runs for 14 hours a day, and that helps to circulate the air and keep the air flowing real nice. Now, when you water your begonias, you want to make sure that your water is nice and room temperature. You don't want to water your begonias with cold water. They don't like the cold. They don't like cold water. You do want to be careful with them. Like if the soil gets cool on you, or like when you take them outside after you harden them off, if it starts getting a little cooler out and the soil gets cool or cold, you want to make sure you don't overwater them, because that can rot the tuber. So what I'll actually do with this one here is I'll put it in a tray, and I'll give it some water, let the water run out the bottom. I'll take it out of the tray and I'll put it back under the lights. So this one here is actually going to be moving to a taller light, and I'll be putting some of the varieties that are just coming up in its place. Now, before you take your begonias outside and just like put them outside, you do want to harden them off. And I have a video, and I'll put a link down in the description for that I did on how to harden your plants off when they're getting ready to go outside. Because you don't want to just take these out from indoors and put them outside. They will not be able to handle it. It really isn't a good thing to do. So I will do a video on how to feed begonias, and I will talk about feeding your tuberous begonias and what type of plant foods you want and how to mix them. So if you like my video, please like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave them below and I'll try and answer them for you. Please don't forget to hit the little notification button that tells you when I put a new video on. You can also follow me on Twitter. I will have a link down in the description for my Twitter account, and you can get updates on how different plants are doing, different seedlings, what's coming up for videos. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a nice day. Bye!